Puma, let's get right into this, all right? My resurgent New England Patriots, my
Wow.
Patriots
Now you sound
have
like your brother
risen
in Fool's
from
Gold.
the ashes, have risen like the Phoenix, Puma. We took down the Buffalo Bills. We are now 2-5 instead of 1-5. When the whole world, Puma, thought that the Patriots would get steamrolled over, when the whole world laughed at me for saying that the Bills could potentially get upset by the Patriots, you laughed at me. Everybody else laughed at me. But Puma, I've got a feeling about this Patriots team. And you heard it here first. I'm going to, spoiler alert,
Okay.
Patriots beat the Dolphins this weekend, and we
Okay.
are going on a roll, Puma. We are going on a roll. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
This team
Let me
is
get my pain pills real quick
Puma,
to hear
Puma.
this.
This Patriots team is finally getting some mojo going. For the first few weeks, there was a lot of turmoil. And I think if I had to explain to you why I think there was turmoil, I think it was mostly because the new offense took some time to get going, right? Now, last week against the Bills, Mac Jones looked good. We reverted back to the Josh McDaniels offense where he was basically dunking and dunking. If you look at Mac Jones's flow chart, you know the little green chart they do with like the X's and O's, all his passes, Puma, were behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. That's the kind of type of quarterback play we need out of Mac Jones. We can't have him pushing it down the field. His arm isn't strong enough. So I think finally they understood. I think Bill O'Brien finally understood. We've gotta allow him to throw these small, like quick passes. And the more times we have him thrown downfield, the more disastrous this kid gets. So call it stupidity on my part to, think that, let me put it this way. I think Bill O'Brien finally figured out the formula on how to make Mac Jones work. They're trying to fit him into a spot that he wasn't comfortable playing quarterback. He's never going to air it out. He's never going to throw 60 yards down the field. And they're trying to get him to do that. Now they've dialed it back. They reverted back to the Josh McDaniels offense. And Puma, you hear it here first. We're upsetting the Miami Dolphins.
You're on drugs. You want to know why they were dinking and dunking? I hope they were dink and dunk because literally the linebacking core for Buffalo has been decimated with injuries. I don't think Matt Milano wasn't there. The secondary Tre'Davious White is out with the Achilles injury. Like that linebacking core was already like the depth was already a problem, and then losing a big piece like that contributed to it. I listen. Was it a great performance by Mac Jones? Sure. Did Buffalo also squander away so many opportunities in that game? Absolutely. They're now running into a Dolphins team that, Tua is undefeated against Bill Belichick in his career thus far. They have a massive home field advantage, even though it's going to be, the end of October down there. It's going to be 85 with like 100% humidity out there. Vic Fangio is going to throw the kitchen sink at Mac Jones here. So it's not going to be a whole lot of dinking and dunking anymore. And, you couple that with Xavier Howard might be back from his groin injury. There's a slight chance that Jalen Ramsey might be activated off of injured reserve, and he should be able to come back for this game. I heard a lot of talk about how, well, the Pats limited the offense of the Miami Dolphins week 2. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. They held them to like 240 passing yards and then 130 yards on the ground. Mostert and Achane ran the ball down their throat. But the big difference between now and then is there's no Gonzalez in that secondary for New England anymore. Matthew Judon is not going to be there. So this is a completely different defense that Bill Belichick is going to be rolling out against Miami that had a chance to tie it up in the fourth quarter against the Philadelphia Eagles. And in my opinion, if they would have tied it up, they would have won. I'm not getting into the refs. That's a whole other conversation. But no, like one of my best bets this week is laying 9.5 with Miami at home.
Don't do it.
Tua is 15-5 against the number, covering the spread. The New England Patriots, the bar is so low. The bar is so low that at this point, Mac Jones could tie his shoes right, and everybody would be happy with what Mac Jones has done. He's about to get a rude awakening from Vic Fangio. Week 2, they were a 2-point favorite, and they covered by more than a touchdown, or they actually covered by a touchdown here. It's probably going to come down to the ball and the game is going to be in Mac Jones's hands again, and Vic Fangio is going to dial up a defense here and just going to completely get after his ass. And I know that the Pats kind of retooled the offensive line by putting Awayu on the right side to me, it doesn't really matter. Jalen Phillips is going to be back. He looked like a stud last week and was getting after Jalen Hurts' ass. Jalen Hurts also, in my opinion, got hurt in the first quarter of that game and tried to play it off and is still playing it off right now. Christian Wilkins is a beast too. If Bradley Chubb can just become a semblance of what Bradley Chubb was in Denver, this is going to be a very, very interesting front four and front seven going up against the New England offensive line this weekend.